What you're about to see is not a drill, not an exercise, but a full-scale military mobilization that could reshape the balance of power in the Middle East. 20,000 troops, strategic bombers, airborne assaults, and it all begins right now. Mr. President, are you deploying additional troops for deterrence or for combat? The response was blunt. We have the greatest equipment in the world and we are decimating Iran. And just like that, the order was given. Across multiple bases, thousands of soldiers moved with precision. Transport trucks rolled into staging areas, gear was loaded, weapons checked. Final instructions given. Rucksacks packed with everything they'd need, because no one knew how long they'd be gone. One thing was certain, they weren't coming back anytime soon. Airborne forces moved first. While ground forces mobilized, elite airborne units were already preparing. Paratroopers strapped on their main parachutes, reserve chutes secured to their chest, weapons slung, faces focused. Then, in tight formation, they marched toward the waiting giants of the runway. C-17 Globemastered their aircraft, engines roaring, ramps open. This was their ride into the unknown. Because in modern warfare, airborne troops don't wait. They go first.
Right.
At another airfield, something far more destructive was being prepared. A B-52H Stratofortress sat ready. Its mission? Deep strike. Massive 2,000-pound Mark 84 bombs were carefully loaded, one by one. Each capable of devastating entire structures, each placed with precision. This wasn't just firepower, this was overwhelming force. Inside, the crew prepared for a long and demanding mission. Oxygen systems checked. Navigation routes confirmed. Emergency protocols reviewed. They packed for hours in the sky, knowing every second mattered. Then came the signal. It was time. 8 engines ignited. The B-52s slowly rolled forward, heavy with its deadly payload. The runway stretched ahead. Then liftoff. A massive machine rising into the sky, carrying destruction across thousands of miles. And before we go further, if you're into real military operations explained like this, hit that like button and subscribe, because what you're about to see next only gets more intense. Meanwhile, at sea, Marines rushed across the deck of an aircraft carrier. Their transport, a CH-53E Super Stallion, waited with rotors folded. Within minutes, engines roared to life. They boarded fast and lifted off, heading inland to establish forward positions. Across the region, Black Hawk helicopters filled the skies, flying in waves, dropping troops, returning, repeating. A constant flow of manpower moving closer and closer to the front lines. Then came one of the most dangerous phases. The C-17 reached the drop zone. Inside, silence. Then the command, stand up. Hook up. Paratroopers moved with precision. Check equipment. Green light. One by one, they jumped. Dozens of parachutes opened across the sky. Within minutes, boots hit the ground, and the operation was officially underway. Take a second to think about this. Thousands of troops, multiple aircraft, all coordinated down to the second. One mistake here, and the entire mission could collapse. If you're still watching, you're exactly the kind of audience I make these videos for, so make sure you're subscribed. The C-17 didn't stop. It landed at a forward airfield, unloading vehicles and critical support equipment. Soon, everything began to connect. Paratroopers linked up with supplies. Marines reached their sectors. Helicopter units reinforced positions. Piece by piece, the force came together. Then came the grind. Digging in, setting up communications, distributing ammunition, building a base from nothing in hostile territory. Every movement calculated, every second critical. Heavy armor and vehicles were already on the way, the final pieces of a much larger plan. Because this wasn't just deployment, this was preparation for full-scale combat. Within hours, 20,000 troops stood ready, fully equipped, fully positioned, waiting. Because what happens next could change everything. They're about to do a gun run. Get down. This is how wars escalate. Fast, relentless, unpredictable. If you want more breakdowns of real military operations like this, hit subscribe. And tell me in the comments, do you think this was a show of force or the beginning of something much bigger?